Hi there, welcome to my market update as we enjoy some better weather out there, maybe even getting into the spring months. I'm going to talk to you about what's happening the property market across our region, and let's first of all talk about what's going on with prices. So everyone asks me always, are prices going up, are they going down? There's a lot of uncertainty out there in the market at the moment, probably because of much that's going on around us. And I'm going to basically just put up a really simple graph which shows you price movement in West Yorkshire. So let's bang that up on the screen and we can have a look at that. So what that's telling you is very, very clearly we're seeing prices increase over the last year by 4.8% according to the Land Registry in West Yorkshire. So not a huge amount of increase, and also really important to remember that's a pretty normal year. But when you put inflation against that, inflation running at between 3 and 4%, depending on the time of the year that you looked at, in terms of real house price growth, so against the actual value of money, we're not seeing a huge amount of change. In monetary terms, you're talking about a difference of just under £10,000 that we saw price increase over the last year. Again, that's nothing more than what we would expect in a normal year. But on a positive note, we are still seeing prices increase across our region. Actually, when you read a lot of the national media, the north is definitely performing way ahead of the south. And I think a lot of that is driven by just affordability. You know, when you come up north, you can get a little bit more for your money than when you're down in the south. And when you then pair that off against what's happening with interest rates, which of course have been falling quite gradually, there is some good news in there. Again, what I'm going to do, if that's all right, is just pop another quick graph up on the screen. This is the Bank of England track of what's happening with fixed mortgage rates over the last 18 months. And again, you can see a really, really positive trend where interest rates have been coming down quite nicely over the last year or so, and that is helping to drive affordability. So prices going up a bit, property becoming more affordable because of what's going on with interest rates and lenders who are willing to lend a good rate. So from a seller's point of view, what should you be thinking about? Is this a time that you could be getting excited? Let's push that price and see how far we can go. My view is, and the view of the market right now is, absolutely not. You need to be careful. The market is still very price sensitive. There's still a good amount of choice out there for people looking to make their next purchase. So it's all about making sure that you get your price right in the beginning. You don't want to be one of those who puts their property on too much and then has to come down. That's always been proven to lead to a worse result in the end. And so really it's about making sure that you take the right advice, look for good comparable evidence of what else has been sold around you to make sure that you hit the market at the right level. Because if you do, and you're in the right location with the right sort of property, from all the stats that I've just shown you before, your result will pretty often be a very good one. That's all really I have to say at the moment about what's going on in the market. Probably important for me just to make a very quick comment about the wider world. You know, we've seen these black swan difficult events going on across the world having impact on the property market. What do we think about what's going on in the Middle East? Well, I think I can say right now, you know, very difficult obviously seeing the news at the moment, whatever your political views, nobody wants to see wars breaking out across the globe. What we kind of need to see from a property market point of view is that remains quite isolated. If it remains isolated and doesn't start to have a wider impact on areas outside of the Middle East, it's probably fair to say we won't see much impact on the property market, certainly in the immediate future. Of course, we'll all wait and see what happens with that. I'll try and keep filming some of these updates for you just so I can keep you appraised of what's going on in the local market across our area. And appreciate you watching. Don't forget to click that like button, and also why not subscribe. Thanks for watching.